When the Lord introduced the preferred mode of healing the sick in our dispensation, He commanded the elders be called, who were then to pray for the sick and lay their hands upon them in His name. After the ritual laying on of hands and incantation of the Lord's name, it is faith that calls forth the healing power. The Lord repeated the promise, first preferred in the previous dispensation, that miraculous signs would follow those that believe. The miracles must be performed in His name. That is, His name, Jesus Christ, must be invoked for the miracle to occur. In the ritualized healing of the laying on of hands, a prayer is to be offered closing in the Lord's name, following the modern commandment and the example set forth by James. The prayer to heal the sick, like all prayers, is to be a prayer of faith addressed to the Father in the name of the Son. Prayer, in its essence, is a type of intentional magic, taking the form of an incantation or casting a spell. The Christian prayer follows in exact detail the structure of a magician casting a spell. The magic principle of binding a spirit or god to one's will is found explicitly in Scripture. Prayer can take the form of a hymn or chant. The Lord, in a revelation to Emma Smith through Joseph, made the point that the song of the righteous is considered a prayer. It is also a magical incantation, since it is answered with a blessing. A hymn as prayer, then, is the analog to a magical incantation that is chanted rather than spoken. Many, if not most, definitions of incantation state that the magic words can be either spoken or sung. David's Psalms would be a good example of prayers put to music, beseeching or crying to the Lord for a variety of favors. Even if the magic of the laying on of hands and praying over the sick is not effective, the Lord relies on magic to bless. This magical blessing comes in the form of food. The Lord commands that the sick be nourished with herbs and mild food, in all tenderness. Certainly, herbs and mild food have medicinal properties in and of themselves, but there is more to it than that. There is an intentional mental effect. The food is to be administered by those of the same faith with the intention of tenderness. Faith and goodwill directed at the patient are hallmarks of magical healing. And moreover, the food itself is the target of magical effect with the intent to enhance its healing properties. Originally, the prayer over food was intended as an expression of gratitude. The Lord, in His model prayer, instructed His disciples to ask God for their daily bread. The early saints ate their bread and meat, meaning food, with gladness. Over time, however, prayers of thankfulness for food became blessings over food. Supplicants now ask that food, whatever its intrinsic value of sustenance and nutrition, must nourish and strengthen those that partake. In other words, food blessings are now magical incantations intended to change the basic nutritional properties of the food.